So I'm just sitting back chilling, and I had to drop everything I was doing because I noticed while searching the interwebs, Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan is having a live debate concerning Nick's controversial views. And you know this one gonna get spicy because they're gonna go into black people, women, Jews. Very controversial stuff. So without further ado, let's get straight to the video.
I want to come to something else you said. This is where you talk about Jews, women, and blacks. Let's just take a listen.
They're always coming up with, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple.
Okay. Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah. Yes.
But all of them?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
Get them, Piers.
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that, 5%.
1 in 20. I know 20 black people, and I don't know one murderer. Come on, bro. I can tell you that statistic is off.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you didn't say that.
That's
You
the
just
crime
said
problem.
blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. You didn't clarify that you were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
Do you think it's funny, or
Yeah, I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
Blacks are my biggest fans. I get high fives all the time. They say, Nick Fuentes, I love you.
Nah, I like Nick Fuentes for how raw and real he is. He speaks his mind. You know, a lot of people, they use their tongue to hide what's inside their brain. So that's one thing I guess black people respect. But no, we don't find this funny. I don't find that funny because it's not true.
Your show. They agree with me. And you want to know why? Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto?
White people are most victimized by white people. So your point is mute.
And get shot all the time. That's what happens in the south side of Chicago. You should come here. I'll take you there. We could go to Garfield Park.
My son went to Chicago
Inglewood.
University for a year, actually, several years ago.
Yeah, that's a bubble. That's a bubble. You think you're in Chicago and Hyde Park? You don't know Chicago. Go a little bit west, see what it's like over there. And I'll tell you, black people agree with me because they're tired of it too. And maybe not most of them, but a lot of them agree with what I say about that because they know how it is. That's why the first thing they do when they make a little bit of money is they go and leave to another neighborhood.
Okay, so what was just remind me again, the percent.
That goes for any race. Because when you're living in poverty or low, you know, where people are poor, people are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you're more likely to commit crimes. What people do when they get money is they move from the impoverished areas somewhere where crime is not prevalent. It has nothing to do with race. Nothing at all.
Percentage of black men who commit murder in America. What was the percentage you gave me?
It's 1 in 20. 1 in 20.
It's 1 in 100.
No, it's 1 in 20.
No. Less than 1 in 100 black US men commit murder. That's the most up-to-date crime statistics in America.
That's not true. I've seen other statistics. They say 1 in 20 will eventually commit a murder.
So your rate means that you're...
You see, I know more than 100 black people, and I don't know 20 murderers. So the statistic is false, bro. It's false.
You're saying that 5 times as many black men commit murder as the official crime statistics say?
Yeah, there's a report, I believe, on X by Data Hazard. I'll have to go and double check that for you. But yes, there's some pretty shocking evidence that says that it's far more alarming than you would think.
Okay, but you would accept that the official crime statistics are 1 in 100, or you wouldn't accept that statistic?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but I've seen other evidence. Like I said, Data Hazard on X, I believe, produced a report about a year ago. It said 1 in 20. But I mean, whether it's 1 in 20 or 1 in 100, that's a lot of people, Piers. I mean,
sure,
this is
a lot of white
problem.
people commit murder too. Well, they do, don't they?
Okay, but it's about proportionality. I mean, white people are 65% of the population. Blacks are 13%. And I think anybody would tell you that more black people proportionally commit violent crime than white people. And people vote with their feet. People would rather pay a much higher property tax.
Most mass shootings.
What's with the interruptions?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, you look at in Chicago, in New York, these neighborhoods are so stratified. People would rather pay a high tax rate. They'd rather pay a much higher property value to live in a less diverse, less black neighborhood because they don't want to live around the violence. And I think that when you look at even on the public transit, the subway, the blue line, you know, people don't want to go there because they know who occupies and menaces the public transit. It is these people like Daniel Penny had to deal with. It's people like Irina Zarutska had to deal with. And that's just the uncomfortable reality.
You've also said you don't want to live near black people. Let's take a listen to this clip.
That's not reality. It's not. It's in his head.
I'm a new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. You know, I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it couldn't be.
And see, I can respect how raw and real he come off. You know what I mean? That's what black people respect. We respect honesty. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But that don't make that reality. Black people don't equal violence. Poverty equals violence. It's simple as that.
Clearer, really, unless you want to say that's another of your jokes. But you're basically saying, yeah, I'm a racist, aren't you?
And why are black people in poverty? Now, that's a bigger question.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody, if we're being honest, is racist. I think everybody, the only people that aren't racist or pretend not to be are white people to their detriment. Everybody else is racist.
But earlier in the interview, you got aggrieved at the idea that your father was a racist. You wanted to make emphatically
because
sure
my father's.
He's not.
Because my father doesn't share my same views on that.
So he's the exception to the everyone's a racist.
Well, everybody's a little bit racist. You're right. So maybe everybody. The difference is you're attacking my father. You know, he could get fired from his job.
I'm not attacking your father.
You are.
No, I'm not. I don't know your father. And to be clear, I have no knowledge about him at all.
Well, then let's leave him out of it.
Well,
let's leave him out of it if you don't know him.
Hang on, Nick. You put that story into the public domain on your show. I'm simply reminding you of what you told everybody, millions of people, about your father. If you now want to retract it, fine. If you want to say it was a joke, which is what your position was earlier, fine. But I'm allowed to put to you things you've said publicly. That's not unfair. That's not me targeting your father. You put that story about him out
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I'm asking you about a pretty shocking anecdote, which to me looked like you were saying your father made decisions about where you as a family would eat based on skin color of people who worked at these places. If you say, or use them, if you say that is not what you meant, that's fine. You can respond any way you like. But the idea I can't ask you about it without you saying I'm attacking your father is ridiculous.
Well, you are, and you know what you're doing. And there's a political culture in America where if you have the wrong views, you get fired from your job. And my father has a job. And if you go on here and say you charge him with racism or something, and I'm put in a position where I don't look like I'm sticking to my guns if I don't say my father's a racist, you're putting him in jeopardy. And he's not here to defend himself or explain his views. And it's very low. And I think you know exactly what you're doing, and people can see what you're doing. I'll defend my views. And I think that, so let's leave him out of it. Let's just not talk about my father because my father isn't here. I'm here.
Okay, well,
I'll
then do you
defend
accept
my
that you
views
shouldn't
and I'll
talk?
defend
Okay,
the anecdote.
listen, that's fine. But then do you accept you shouldn't talk about your father on your show? And you shouldn't tell.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
So
not.
it's fine for you to put a story out there which would make most people.
Not everyone's life runs in straight lines. At Sophia, we get that. Our flexible
Is racist. It's fine for you to do that. But if I then ask you about it, I'm the one who's being unfair and I've crossed a line. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you're
that's
being
fine.
malicious.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Listen,
Malicious.
people are watching this live. They can draw their own conclusions about whether what I just
And they
did.
will.
Yeah, and I'm
and
sure
they will.
afterwards, by the way, you'll say, he ambushed me with your
No,
own
no,
with your
no,
own
no,
words.
whoa.
With their own words.
That's a little presumptuous. I'm not going to say it's an ambush, but I think that's a low blow. And I think
Okay.
you know what you're doing, and that's fine. You're a tabloid journalist. I expected that. I don't think it's an ambush because I knew it would be like this. And people will see what you're doing, and I think they'll say it's low. But as
Okay.
far as you want to talk about racism,
I do.
Let's talk about racism.
Okay,
Let's leave my dad out of it.
Look, you've admitted you're a racist, correct?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Own it.
Okay, that's fine. You're
You see, the one problem I have with all this freedom of speech stuff, because I'm down for it, but people like Nick or certain Republicans turn freedom of speech into being free to be racist. The true sense of freedom of speech was being able to criticize your government without anything happening to you. Come on, man. Get back on track. Y'all losing the plot.
perfectly entitled in a free democratic society to stare down the barrel of his camera and tell me you're a racist. People can judge you accordingly. Many people who have assumed that you're a racist will now have heard it from your own lips. That's fine.
There you go.
That's the
Sure.
point. The point of this interview is to go over the things you've said, which have led people to reach conclusions about you, and to ascertain whether those conclusions are fair and reasonable or not. That's it.
Thank
So I want
you.
to play you another clip. This is what you talk
Yeah.
about why white people are justified in being racist. Let's take a listen to this.
First, white people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them.
You stand by that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So white people should go out of their way to avoid black people when they see them.
Absolutely. They would be wise
Why?
because it's a lose-lose proposition. If you're Irina Zarutska and you don't walk the other way, you get stabbed to death and you die. If you're somebody else and you walk on the subway and you stand near a black person or something, maybe it's fine. It's a lose-lose proposition. So no, I think that white people have been beaten into submission, that we're afraid to tell the truth about it. And the truth is that when you go into these major cities like New York or Chicago, I believe she was in North Carolina, there is a menace, which is young, black, adolescent men. They're extremely violent. And we have been told that we have to pretend like they are every other person. We have to be colorblind to that.
And the narrative of black people attacking white people is so far-fetched. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm quite sure there might be. I don't know. YouTube got me shadow banned because I be making controversial videos too. But if there is some people out here watching this video that's white, how many times have you been attacked by a black person? I mean, I believe there's some people in America that very rarely sees black people. They're just only going by what's viral on the internet. And what's on the internet is controlling the narrative. It's an algorithm. It's hard to explain. But what you see on the net is not reality. Just because I see, like, check it. Because the algorithm almost radicalized me, because it was showing me a whole bunch of videos of white people attacking black people, calling them the N-word. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch. It's like thousands of videos where you can see white people going out of their way to attack blacks. And you know what that does? That makes you mad on the inside. But you got to realize that's the algorithm controlling the narrative. You can either feed into that and become radicalized, or you can know the propaganda when you see it. Some people just don't.
And we're supposed to go and be in the midst of all this danger.
But you know what? I had enough of this. Because Nick is becoming propaganda himself. You know, I like the dude, but keep it real, keep it honest. Don't give fake stats, you know what I mean? Because people love to quote black stats. But I guarantee he don't know how many one out of 20 white people are murderers. He don't know that stat. But you keep up with the black stat just to push the narrative. Come on, bro. I'm out. Go on. Peace, deuce. It's lame. And he gay. Nothing wrong with gay people, but just come out the closet, homeboy.